This is Note Taking Guide 5.4, Graphing Circles in Standard Form. So the first thing I want to do is just really fast review what the equation of a circle looks like in standard form. It would be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. R stands for the radius. And again, the number on the x tells us how to move left or right. The number on the y tells us how to move up or down. Now, like I've taught you before in previous lessons, anytime you have a number inside grouping symbols, it's going to do the opposite of what you think it's going to. So if it's minus, you're moving right. If it's minus this time, you're moving up instead of down. So just keep that in mind. So the two important things that you need to know in order to graph an equation of a circle is you need to know the center point that comes from your movement left or right or up or down, and the length of your radius. If you know those two things, then you can graph any circle. So over here on some examples, if you look at this right here, we're moving left or right 0. We're moving up or down 0 because there's no number added or subtracted to the x and the y's, which means our center is at 0, 0. And then this would be equal to our radius squared, so we would just square root both sides to get our radius of 1. So you would start at 0, 0. You would count 1 in every direction for your radii, and then draw your circle through those ordered pairs. Okay, same idea here, but this time you have a plus 1 here. When you have a plus 1 here, that means you're shifting your center point left 1, but we didn't move up or down here. Our radius comes from square rooting the 16 to get the radius of 4. Then we could just graph that. Again, here, movement, this would be left, this would be down, and then square root the 25 to get the radius of 5. So let's just try this and see if we can do it. So this first example right here, if I were to just kind of look at this, this minus 2 right here tells me to move right 2 units. And then the plus 3 tells me to move down 3 units. So right 2, down 3 for the center point of our circle. Then 16 is my radius squared, but I need my radius, so I'm going to square root both sides, and I get my radius equals 4. So I'm 4 in every direction. And then my center has to go, or my circle goes through those ordered pairs, which I think is the hardest part, drawing the circle through those 4 ordered pairs and still having it look like a circle. Okay, next example. We moved left or right 0 because there's nothing added or subtracted to the x value. And we moved down 1. Oh, I'm sorry, not down 1. We moved up 1 because it's the opposite sign of what we see there. The minus 1 means up 1. So we moved up 1 from there, and then we're going to follow our radius. Our radius squared is equal to 9, so when we square root both sides, we get our radius is equal to 3. So from this point, we count 3 in every direction. And we draw our circle through those ordered pairs just like so. Alright, here's another example of doing the exact same thing. Our movement left or right, minus is going to be to the right, so we're moving right 3. Then there's no movement up or down, so I move right 3. I should really move to the right though, so sorry about that over here. I moved right 3, and then I follow my radius. My radius squared is equal to 9, so I square root both sides to get my radius equal to 3. And my graph goes through those ordered pairs. All right, this last example, we're going to go the opposite direction. We're going to write the equation of the circle instead of graphing the circle from the equation. So I like to think about where I moved from the origin. So from the origin, I moved over left 2, and I moved up 2 from the origin. So if I were going to move left 2, the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of write down the general form of my equation of my circle. I know I have parentheses squared with my x value, and I know how I have parentheses squared with my y value. So how do I show movement of left 2? Well, left you think would be minus, but remember we do the opposite inside the parentheses, so this is going to be plus 2 to get a left 2. And then up 2 you would think is going to be plus, but because it's in the parentheses it's going to be minus 2, so you're going to do a minus 2 there. Then really what we're going to do is just count the radius. So from the center to the edge we move 1, 2, 3 spots. So our radius is 3, but this number over here is 3 squared, which is going to be the number 9 for our equation of our circle.